How can we create a more supportive environment for men to embrace emotional intelligence and vulnerability? What's emotional intelligence? I would say emotional intelligence is just understanding the emotions in general. Right. Understanding that you have them, and then being able to identify them.
Right.
Because I think a lot of people, we feel things and we can't define that. That is frustration. That is loneliness. Mm-hmm. That is abandonment. Mm-hmm. That is grief.
Right.
You just feel.
Right.
And and you don't know how to express it or what's going on. You just know you want to eat. Right. You just know you want to just get out and go hang out, or you just want to watch TV and recluse. Mm-hmm. And you don't know, oh, I'm in grief about something. Oh, I'm feeling abandoned. So emotional intelligence, I would say, is just being aware and being able to identify the different type of emotions.
Building that vocabulary. Because, yes, I think it's actually the first problem, I would say. Or it's one of the first problems, is that not being able to identify what you're feeling.
Yeah, it would have to be. They'd have to be able to be given time and give themselves time to feel feel their emotions, and then that the door into discerning those emotions so that they can actually describe them.
I agree. I think sometimes people, and I would say very frequently, we don't want to feel. We don't want to stop and feel that ache. If it's anything that's like joy or dopamine hits, we don't want to feel those achy emotions. Mm-hmm. And take the time to stop and think about them. And I see people bury themselves in busyness or into substances or abusing food or shopping, whatever it is.
Anything, music.
To just dull everything out. So I think that's a very a great piece of advice. Just to allow yourself to feel.
Like what addiction do you have? And even to that, of course to that level. What addiction do you have that you're do you actually think you're not distracting yourself from something? Like being able to determine, wait, this isn't actually normal behavior. Mm-hmm. There's something off about me. Even being able to start there and then being like, okay.
So now you're getting back into acceptance.
Right,
and
acceptance.
You're specifically talking about addiction, because if I'm into whatever the habit is, it usually is taking me out of my mind or into a different thought space where I'm involved with that particular thing, whatever the addiction is, and I don't have to be over here in the problem or the concerns and thoughts that are making me feel inside of my body.
Mm-hmm. Being okay with feeling bad. Like, this hurts. Mm-hmm. I recognize that this hurts. I don't like that it hurts, but it is true that it hurts.
Acceptance.
Right?
That something is making me very uncomfortable.
Right. And then being like, okay, removing, because we have this, there's acceptance, and then there's the ability to, I'll say, sidestep the emotional knee jerk, right? The immediate, let me turn some music on. I can't do this right now, right? Or whatever your drug of choice is, music or whatever the vice is. Let me turn this on right now. I can't think about this. A friend of mine, a truck driver, a number of people in my life very explicitly say, I cannot have silence. I will not allow, I don't want to go run.
I've heard people say that.
Yeah. I don't want to go run because it makes me think too much. So it's an acceptance that you're feeling, and then it's acceptance that you have to go through this process. I think there's two different acceptances you have to go through. Like, yes, I'm feeling, and it's okay, so that I can actually interpret it.
And how do you think that people got there? How do we get there to, like, we absolutely don't want to feel these feelings?
Well, the first thing is the complete and utter apprehension that specifically men for sure have. We're not allowed to be vulnerable with each other enough to say what we actually feel, right? There's so many stigmas against men doing that. You're
don't get to
just
vocalize.
feminine. You're being a girl, and then or like, dude, this is man time right now. You don't need to be doing all that, right? It's it's instantly stigmatized when a dude is in like complete need, right?
Okay.
So the man who is in need, and there are many, have to be given that space, and then he has to actually believe enough to trust that he's in that space.